Hi, this is Slimedog,
And Topo.
and today we're playing Moonlighter
Yay.
on the PS4, which is a really fun little roguelike, and its big hook is you go into a dungeon, you do sort of a action RPG Zelda style, you take a bunch of loot, and then you bring the loot out and sell it in your store, in sort of a store-selling minigame, which actually the game pays a lot of attention to. You've got upgrades for your character, upgrades for your store.
Here's our lush bed that we have upgraded to. We've done all the way through the first. Show the map there. The read up there. Up
yeah.
desk. There you go.
Basically,
It shows you there's
four dungeons
and
that
then the big one at the end, I guess.
Yes. Once you beat the 4 basic dungeons, you can unlock the big dungeon at the end. You have to do the 4 dungeons in order anyway, so it's basically just there's 5 dungeons in the game.
There you go. And each dungeon has 4 levels, which includes a mini boss.
Yes, or a big boss, and
right.
You can tell like the house and a lot of the stuff in the game sort of has shades of Zelda. Like this looks a lot like the Link to the Past house, and you know.
And you can can show this stuff later. If there's chests with stuff, we've got
chests,
items which aren't going to make any
there.
sense to you right now. And then this is an upgraded store. We've got some glass cases with our pricey stuff.
Yes, if I had stuff in my inventory, I could put it on sale here and set the prices.
And then there's decorations on the walls there that we have set up for, and the tip jars up on the counter. Those are all upgrades that you can do, which we can review later when we go over the store stuff.
Now, we just spent a day selling stuff, so you can see it's night in the town, which means you walk around. And there's you have to pay to kind of unlock the different stores in town. This one's the blacksmith. And let's see if there's any armor we can buy. We're looking for the fabric shoes, so let's just see the fabric shoes. Okay, fabric 2 shoes that we need, and yeah, we need 2 of those.
Little guys.
Yeah, those little hay bale looking things. So we're missing those, and we can find those in a dungeon.
The
so
dungeon
we go out
that
hunting.
we are currently in,
Yeah.
which they upgrade as you go. Their required items are in the following dungeon.
Yeah.
Now you might wonder, go to the one to the right. Well, how do we have this one highlighted? Well, because we found one of these items from the next dungeon.
Yes, you have
it's
little.
a secret area.
They have
that pops up. They're little windows into the next dungeon.
Yeah, you can kind of preview a room from the next dungeon up sometimes if you get lucky, and get items
and they
from
pop
it.
Because they are random spawning.
Although don't count on getting enough of them to be able to upgrade
the next
tier
not until
early.
You get to the next dungeon.
Villagers are all pretty much flavor text, and they say the same things once per dungeon that you've beaten. This little witch down here is the upgrade person, and she can take any of your gear.
The enchantress, she will make potions for you.
Yes.
It shows up there on the right. We've got
I've
4.
Got 4. You can
carry 5 at a
kind
time.
of.
So.
You can actually carry more than that, but you can kind of quick use 5 at a time. So I just try to make sure I've got 5 when I go with me into any dungeon. And then if I find more, great. And if I don't, you can teleport back from town for the cost of some money.
Bag.
Oh, the bag? Okay, here.
If you show your bag, see, there's the one he made, and he pop it over there to there's his
slot.
items.
Yeah, you can see down here it says we've beaten 1 dungeon. Well, you can't really move to it, but I've beaten the first dungeon, but not the second. But we're going to try to beat the second here. So.
And then up there in the top right corner, you can see the rotary
weapon I'm using, and
R2 to use your
potions, and then L2 to do your roll. You've got your little tuck and roll move thing. And with the case of sword and shield, you can actually use your shield too to block.
You can swap out your weapons there too, right?
Yes, there's different types of weapons. You know,
but
spears,
you carry 2 at a
hefty
time?
swords. Yeah, you can carry 2 kind of hot swappable at a time. And it looks like yes, we have enough.
They don't take up space in your inventory. You know, they're part of your gear set.
Right. And here we've got enough to upgrade the sword and shield that we're using.
These are just enchantments.
And it bumps up the stats by a pretty substantial margin.
Yes.
And I think you can upgrade it 3 times, which should be where we're at now. And yes, that's not available anymore. These are the other swords and shields that we own, but we don't really need to upgrade them because we're only using 1 at a time. So.
There's a broom we start out with, the big sword,
a broom's like a spear type,
right?
Yeah.
And we do carry the
a bow is the other thing.
Oh,
okay.
You ought to go ahead.
Yeah, I might as well.
Yeah.
I don't have the second tier bow, I think, but I might as well use it because I've got.
Well, because it is handy on certain mobs. They're harder to.
Can't argue with that.
That big tongue dude.
Oh yeah, he's a pain.
Now what we did was we've already completed the first couple floors of this dungeon. You can look at this after. Okay.
Well, I've got money to spend, so.
You're gonna. Oh, I see.
Here's where you open up different shops in town. But I'm sorry, you were saying? Go ahead.
Well, I'll do it when I thought we were leaving.
Okay. I'm gonna upgrade I'm gonna upgrade a chest in my house.
His house/store.
For 20,000, And there we go. The next one costs 70, and there's only 3 tiers of upgrades for every range. So
and up top is are the upgrades to your store.
Right, but you have to unlock the further ones by finishing different dungeons. So once I finish Dungeon 2, this will be available.
Hit L2. There shows this last guy down at the bottom left will not be available until we finish this dungeon.
Right, the banker. So no bank for now.
Now, what we did was the first couple levels of this dungeon, and we'd shown your map, the teleport.
The map?
Not the map. Your inventory. Show that. So down on the bottom left, there's a pendant that we have that's only costs 2,000 to pop out. Actually, does it change also?
It changes depending on the dungeon. Basically,
depending on your level in the dungeon, the prices go up. So first level is 2,000, second it's 3, something like that sort.
In the first dungeon, you find all 3 of these utility items. The Merchant Mirror you can feed items into directly if you've run out of inventory space and you don't want to go back to town, and it'll give you back a very small amount of gold based on each one, like maybe a quarter, say, or a third.
Yeah.
Probably like a quarter of the actual price you get if you sold it in your store. So you can get rid of junk that you don't need without and turn into small amounts of money.
That will give you space for higher cost.
Right.
However, go ahead.
The pendant you can use for a smaller amount of gold, and that will quick travel you back from the dungeon, but it's a one-way trip. Like, you're back, so you don't die and you don't lose all this stuff in your backpack, but you then have to start the dungeon over again your next time through. The emblem is a 2-directional jump. This costs a lot more money to do, and the money goes up. The cost goes up the higher the dungeon level you are. But when you do this,
which floor of the dungeon you're on, not
yes.
not which dungeon you're doing. I don't think.
Right, but the result of this is a one-way portal, which it's a 2-way portal, but once you use it, it goes away. So
right, a single-use portal.
So you can go back to town and sell your stuff, and then go back to exactly where you left off.
And there's no time. Like we've come in one day, stayed in town, sold a whole bunch of stuff, slept through the night, came back, sold a whole bunch more stuff, and then went back through. It was here.
Yeah,
it was still here, is what I was saying.
Yes.
You don't have to use it within a certain period, like within the day or whatever.
Right.
Handily, you can just pop back through. But we had super bags full of stuff, and poison.
Oh, there's poison all over this place, and we're at the door right before level 3,
which is why we ran through and
stuff I can pick up. Shoot.
It's okay. That bush you could have swatched, but
yeah, but generally, sometimes you can find stuff, but not often.
Crickets down here.
You can step on crickets to farm little tiny guys.
There it is.
Hey,
and
now I can stop stepping on crickets.
Bugs. And
snails,
those 4 snails. I felt so bad.
I know, right? They're adorable. My insatiable lust for trophies knows no bounds.
Now this guy you can hit from the corner because that's how.
One of the reasons I like Sword and Shield is because you can kind of hit guys on the diagonal, and you can't do that with a lot of the other bigger weapons. So, I don't know.
There you go.
It also has the option to block, which is something you don't get with, spear or some of the longer range stuff.
There's pickups there.
As an idea, hold on real quick. Here's the bow looks like that. It can shoot all the way across the screen, and you can do a charge shot that kind of sort of homes too, but it's still a lot less damage than the sword and shield is.
But if you're getting hit hard from these guys, which won't help you. You've got your bonus now. Coming up.
And there's
the ice machine.
Yeah, I guess so. There's text on each one of these for like a little bit of flavor, but these healing potions, there's 1 per dungeon level.
A healing pool.
A quick tip: it also tells you if you see the healing pool, then you're on your way to the boss of the dungeon. The healing pool only spawns kind of on the path that leads from the entrance of the dungeon to the boss, or to the next level.
These guys spin across and hit hard. You don't want to get hit by them, but once they kind of knock themselves loopy, then you can hit them.
You can pop in there and smack them a bit. And I think that's it for.
Look at the dungeon thing, because there's still the other way, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm gonna explore out the whole dungeon.
That's what I'm saying.
You want me to look at the map? Here's
the map. So the way out would probably be the next dungeon is probably north in this room.
It would definitely be north. Yeah, thankfully because of the way
because of the pool's set up. So
that's a little tip from some of the books that we find around that mention that. Also, if you see any sparkling in a pit...
I'm going to see if we can... I'm keeping an eye. I didn't see it in that last room, but I will admit I wasn't watching the first time through. It only pops the first time you enter the room. If you miss it, then... Now, it still exists, but you won't know where to fall. These pits, when you fall in them, you take like 4 damage. Not that much damage, but you don't want to just start hopping in these holes just because, trying to find a sparkly spot.
Yeah.
I didn't see one there either.
You know, I'm doing a lot more damage now that I upgraded that sword, but the guys are still tough. It's not just one.
Oh, it's a mimic. Oh, yeah.
Oi!
Oh my goodness, that's a crazy mimic. Mimics are also buggers.
Wow.
Though they also drop a lot of healing, generally. Wait till he knocks himself silly. There you go. Alright.
Look at that.
Whew.
That was a close one. I've taken some damage. I've got 5 healing potions on me, and...
Plus, were the 5 that he dropped your 5 that he stole from you?
I don't think he stole any.
Look at your...
Yeah, I've got 5 more,
Oh,
and I have
nice.
a total
Well,
of 10.
that's handy.
Yes, it is.
That's one good thing about a mimic, is they drop the... Ooh.
This is the hermit one. Think of it like the Ratman in Portal 2. He's this guy who's sort of stuck in the dungeons forever trying to solve them, and he gives you little hints in his...
They call it Crazy Pete.
Crazy Pete,
Crazy
yes.
Pete, the town knows him as. They thought he was just loony, but we proved them wrong.
We know better. Crazy Pete was onto something.
Pete was, yeah.
Hot spring. This is where he talks about the hot spring appearing between the entrance and the dungeon boss.
There you go.
Also, a tip if you like trophies, when you find any of the Crazy Pete rooms, come up here to the top right corner and you'll pop a trophy. Apparently, the top right corner is where Pete goes to the bathroom, according to the trophy picture.
Could have just been a surprise.
I guess it could have been.
Oh, it's a gardener. No. Is there a gardener?
Those little slime jelly things are what you use to make potions. So, even though they're not worth much to resell, you'll definitely want to pick them up.
And you'll want to make sure... Oh, this part. Okay,
oh,
here's
the,
this.
the cursed thing. So, they're kind of cursed or enchanted artifacts that you pick up. Some of them are good, some of the effects are good, and some are bad. These, the ones with the little leaf icon, will actually dispel the the curses on other artifacts. And this one, like if we go back to town, when you take this and put it in your inventory, this particular one would destroy the artifact in the slot below it when you go back to town. Now, since that's kind of bad, it would result in you getting less items when you go back to town. We're going to use this artifact and put it here and remove the curse. And it removes the curse for both of them. You can't stack items until the curses are removed.
Right. That was some of these... It's just, it can only be put in your bag to the left side or the right side, or top or bottom, and that's considered a curse as well. So
yes.
And you can't stack them, even though you have 2 identical items. One's cursed, the other isn't, so you're stuck with... What's that one do?
This is another cures a curse, so if we pick up another cursed item, we can get rid of the curse on it.
Excellent.
The another one that they have is...
they don't have an auto sort, which is a little bit unfortunate. Though you
is.
If you ended up with a bunch of stuff and you had one of those chests, you could actually store extras there while you went back to town, for example. However, if you're in a secret room and you leave it in the chest, it is lost.
Oh yeah, good to know.
There's also Skelly.
If you hit the skeletons, a lot of times you get items like that sweet bow, which is probably better than the one we have.
Ooh, it's a catapult bow. How do you compare? Oh.
As opposed to the hunter's bow +2. I think it may not be. Let's see.
Can you see the...
It doesn't do a compare.
It doesn't give you like...
Yeah, but we're definitely taking that home.
Because if you look at your... I was trying to...
Here, I'll just put this on.
Okay, but you did all that fancy upgrade to your other... That's fine, I don't care.
Does it tell... watch the attack. Does the attack go up or down? It doesn't make a difference.
It does not, you say?
Oh, here, I can do...
That's what I was... Can you look in your inventory?
Okay, this tells me Hunter's Bow is 35 attack, and the other one is 30 attack, but it causes confusion or poison or something.
Huh. May stun. It says there.
Stun.
May stun.
Okay, so it's stunned. So there you go. But since this one's not enchanted yet, I'm not going to... We'll just take it home.
Might be doing that soon.
We could. Also, kind of like the Monster Hunter series, they have upgradable weapons. Each weapon has sort of 2 paths. One with or without sort of status effects.
Right.
And you upgrade them separately across those paths.
That's it.
That's it for this branch. Back over here. We're not getting any of the items we've got quests for.
Oh no.
Let me show you the quests, too.
Is another thing.
Oh, another skeleton.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, potion.
What's that? And that thing? Oh, that's just the bone.
Did you see any sparkles from here?
I did not.
Okay, you were looking though, right?
Yes.
I wasn't looking.
I was, because I was disappointed that we might get through the dungeon without getting to share the sparkles. So here's the quests.
Okay, this tells us like what quests are coming up. Like it's the 4th right now.
Because it's that teal color, that means that's today.
Yeah. So on the 5th, we've got a quest open, and people walk into your shop and give you quests.
Once you upgrade the shop, you have the option of questing, and that's not until you hit tier 2 of your shop.
This guy wants 5 preserved roots. I think we have 3, so we need to get him 2 more preserved roots. This guy wants us to kill 10 venomous tangles. Whenever you kill a monster that's part of your quest, they'll drop a note, a little paper item that you can pick up and use as a turn-in for the quest. And we haven't fought any of those guys this run either. And this guy wants 5 fertilizers, which we haven't gotten any of this run either.
We had some, but we sold them all.
We sold a couple, yeah.
It's too bad he didn't come in before we...
Now, I guess you could like stockpile all your items for the purposes of just questing, but...
keep a few on hand. Maybe we'll need to do that.
The quests pay out pretty well, but not enough that it's worth stockpiling everything that you find.
Well, probably not. But I'm gonna vote for that one, potentially. Oh.
Got it.
I thought he was about to start rolling again.
I think he was. You didn't see any sparkles, did you?
I didn't.
I'm getting nervous here.
I know.
I've been picking up a lot of potions this run. The slimes will incapacitate. Whoa!
Uh-oh. Oh, crikeys. There's this guy. Right, so there's this guy. He's a jerk. Just FYI.
He ate the chest.
He ate the chest.
Son of a booger. Plus, he runs around and he will just murder you.
He'll pick up, and he one-shots you, so...
Yeah, if he hits you, you're
through
dead,
that door,
so...
Through the door. Oh, jeez. A bunch of these guys have to get away from the door, because he'll be coming through soon. There you go. Oh no! Run, run! Okay. Sorry. I get very excited. Okay. Grab that and run. Okay. You gotta go out the door.
Get the slimes on the other side.
Oh my goodness. Daring you. Daring. He can walk through those stumps.
He can. Now, we don't usually run into him. The time that you have to clear out a level is different every time. So you don't really know how much time you've got.
Though he does appear down there on the bottom left of the screen.
Yeah, a little warning
sort of
tells you when he's on his way to you. So, like, right now it says...
But I don't think it shows up, like...
Okay.
Oh. Okay,
Oh, God!
Oh, this guy. Oh, good job.
I do not need the immobilizing guy to hit me. Oh, sweet.
Okay, quick. Oh, you're gonna have to... Okay.
Okay.
I'm like... Is he still coming? I swear I heard him just outside the door. No!
A bunch of get rid of the curse items, which is good.
That's handy. You still got the one from before.
Yeah, I'm going to put this here and decurse that. And
Nice.
hopefully that will...
He can't stack with... There you go. Huh?
Let's just quick do it that way.
Okay, and then... Did you decurse... Oh, there's the decursor. Is that the decursor? Oh, those are both
Yeah,
decursors.
these are both decursors. I'm going to take the most expensive items and leave the rest in the chest, which he will probably crush.
Those petals, there you go.
And
Grab those life things.
Yeah, those are good. Anything else that's not useful?
Show the price. You can look at the price real quick.
Yeah,
we
check
know
it out.
How much, like, those are worth 65.
They're nearly worthless. 66 for the plant flesh. Whereas some of these other items up here are worth...
that life fluid is worth...
Like 1,600 for the roots.
The life fluid... never mind.
Where's life fluid?
It was down there.
440, so it's worth more.
Okay. And there's still stuff on the ground.
Okay, life fluids. Oh, these.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow. Going to the map does not actually slow it down, does it?
Oh, crikeys. Life fluids, yay! Those guys hit hard too. Run!
I think the big guy will actually... And that's a boss room, so here's what we're going to do.
You're going to go get your life?
I'm going to get my life up, and then I'm going to go fight the boss.
Okay.
If I can make it past that guy.
Ah! He was waiting for you.
He tried to jump
He
me.
was waiting for you.
You know, for such a cartoony looking dude, he scares the crap out of me.
He's scary. He is. It's crazy, but true.
Okay, and here's the deal.
We're going to fight the boss, but our
inventory's stuffed, so yeah, we're in a not a great place here.
Oh, good. You can make your thingy. Do your portal. Let's go through.
We weren't in the last floor? I'm confused.
No.
Okay,
we
so...
were yeah. We still have another level to go.
I guess so.
Okay, let's make up a portal.
It'll cost us 8,000 to do it.
Alright. And this shows...
And, by the way, once you go to a different floor, you reset the timer for your creepy blue guy.
So, phew. There's all the stuff we beat. There's the chests open.
Including the Super Mimic. I don't think we fought one of him before. He's new to me.
We fought a Mimic, but certainly not a Super Mimic.
Yes.
Super.
He was pretty super.
And look, see, it's daytime now. We don't have those roots that guy wants. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Okay, yeah. We're in trouble.
Oh,
I think
you
we're
should
just gonna
go
miss
see
the quest.
if that other dude's got some for sale. Go
okay,
first.
well, let's go into
Dump
here.
off your stuff.
Okay, and I'm gonna take this and put this over in my adventuring supplies box.
Alright.
You can see there's our 3 routes that we have. We need 5 for the quest, right?
Yeah. See if dude's got any.
We're gonna have to do
Also
an open store day.
Yeah, I know, but we don't have to do like a full open store. You can close it at any time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because we have
stuff to do. Okay. Now this guy, we're gonna look for those roots that he wants. We're gonna buy 2 of them.
And the straw things too. Oh, he doesn't have any.
Oh, this is by area, so...
Oh, you'll want to go to the next area then.
No, this one.
Yes. There's...
Straw things.
Yay, we need
2,500. Wow, well...
Just pick those up for your feet. You totally want to do that.
Well, then I'm not going to have enough money for these, by the way.
Well, go do those first, because...
It's too late.
What? You need one more?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, quick. Drop something in your magnet.
Can I sell it?
You can sell... You can't sell to him, I don't think. But you can drop it in your magnifying glass.
The mirror. Okay, yeah, let me make some quick cash by dropping something there.
Or you can open the shop.
Well, yeah, but then it'll be night by the time...
Oh, well, no. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay.
Okay, so these guys, normally I'd sell these, but I'm going to go ahead and take them and see if it'll let me...
Grab your other roots. Oh, there you go.
I cannot use this? I can't use this during
Except
in the town.
Dungeon.
Yeah.
Dang it. Who else? Does anyone else buy stuff?
No, although I guess I can close the store early and run out and buy stuff, but then I have to. Then I won't be able to turn it in.
Quest. Well, let's see. What can we do? I can't believe.
I think we're stuck on this one.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just gonna turn in my stuff for now, and then we'll just write that quest off.
Yeah, we'll have to, I guess. Oh, swells.
And.
Drop off all that stuff, yeah.
Okay.
I know that's for elsewhere, but yeah. Did you use any of your potions while you were in the dungeon?
Not sure, but I actually got a bunch, so...
Yeah, except you just dropped them all off.
Yeah. Yeah, yes. I need 3.
The second, you put it in your second...
Second one? Okay.
When you dropped all your stuff off. There you go. There you go.
Okay, and then I can just go over here and R1 to merge them with the equipped ones down there.
Okay, so we're not going to mess with the shop right now then, because we don't have enough to do that.
But we freed up our inventory, so now when we do the boss run, we don't have to worry about...
We still have a whole other floor to do.
I guess we do. I thought we were on floor 3, no?
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe that marker up top just tells you how far you've gotten to.
Probably just we were really tired last time we played.
Might be. So I keep calling this game Moonlighting.
But it's not. So.
It's not. That was a show. This is not a show.
Nor have they made a moonlighting game, I don't think.
Ever accused Bruce Willis of being in a show that was a roguelike action
RPG.
RPG.
Here's one of those rooms. Okay, finish clearing out Skelly and those bushes. And your...
chest?
Oh.
Wow, a lot of items. Okay, this is a bad curse, right? Yep, so we're going to move him over, and then we're going to dispel it. Wait, move it to a place I can get rid of the curse. That gets rid of that. And then these guys can be good. They turn all artifacts in the direction that that's pointing from into the item that
it is.
And typically it's an expensive item that it is. So these are actually usually pretty good. And these dispel curses, which we don't want to do just yet. So
hold on to those. No, break up those bushes.
Okay.
Sometimes you find stuff like live water and stuff in those bushes. And here, by the way, is one of the...
A preview room. So this is what the next level of the dungeon is going to look like. It's the relic dungeon, I think.
Desert area. Those fires can be pretty hard, I think. Also, they are harder. You know, it's the next dungeon, so it's more difficult. So.
It is.
But that's also, you can get preview items. Like, he just picked up some of the items from the next area. Ooh, that was fancy.
Trickier. Took a lot of hits. And my sword's all the way powered up for this tier, so I guess that just tells you.
Just shows how
you're going to want to level up. None of these guys are dropping the items we need for pickups.
Of course. Oh, there's a... I think he just picked up a root.
I think it was a log and not a...
Oh, okay.
Oh, look, and apparently, because we teleported here and back, it mapped out the whole dungeon for us.
Yes, it does that.
You get a freebie, I forgot about that. Okay, we're going to go down.
You're gonna,
Unless you wanted to rush the boss.
No, that's fine. No, we want to make sure and check out the area. So the center area there is a falling floor, so you need to watch out for that.
You haven't seen any special items yet, have you?
No.
Okay, by the way, worth mentioning, there's that paper.
There's a notebook. Okay. Or the letter paper.
Because these tentacle guys are on our
those are the ones
hit
that
list.
You have to kill for the quest.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Oh.
What? Oh, too late.
That's okay. After you do this, there was something. I missed the sparklies. I don't know if there were any. Dang it. I was so distracted by the other thing that
look, a red chest. That's the best kind of chest.
Ooh, that's the fancy one.
Yeah.
These guys hit pretty hard. These leaf blowers, they are surprisingly... Ooh, you better...
Yeah. Why am I hitting it?
Because he was...
okay.
Just caught it.
Now, by fancier chests, it means there's a whole lot more drops. Another cool curse that you get sometimes, these guys will actually teleport items back to town. And
do you have anything cheap that you can turn into those mushrooms or the thing that's...
So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this guy to teleport this item back to town, and this curse will actually turn it into expensive stuff, not cheap green grass first. Oh wait, but I gotta do this first. I gotta do it in this order, otherwise I'll dispel my own enchantment.
I was gonna say, aren't you? Yeah.
There we go. So, complicated, but it pays dividends. And the rest of these guys are actually good, and I don't want to lose their curses, so let me just grab as many as I can. Oh.
You just sent something back to town.
I think I did.
You did.
And...
oh, they're not the same.
This, if I get rid of the curse on this, it will... Here, let me just dispel the curse here, because then I can stack these guys.
There you go.
Inventory management, the game.
Yeah, so that was what I was mentioning earlier. If you can dispel on that root, you could stack those guys too.
Which root?
The one on the bottom row.
I gotcha.
He's up on the top there. Or that way too. There you go.
Shuffle it around, take one down.
It doesn't, hit those shrubs too. It doesn't auto-sort when you, unlike some games, when you, like, auto over to the chest and then back to your inventory, it will sometimes auto sort for you. This one does not.
Sometimes
there's no way to get it to really.
Yeah.
When you're out of space.
So
this
what I can do is
circumstance where you can show the mirror, for example.
Yeah, I'm gonna like take this item which has a curse, but it's just not stacking right, and or this guy. You can take whole whatever, you put it in and you get some money. See, it pops up in the top corner. I got like 81 for that, but not a heck of a lot. So you want to check and make sure you don't do it to anything that sells
like
for a
huge
lot
of money,
amount of money if you can help it. So it's also good to do sometimes cursed items. If you toss those, then whatever's left stacks. Like, you know, cursed items don't stack, but uncursed items do. So.
Will you go back out to the left real quick? I know you'll be heading back that way, but I wanted to look this up. See, yeah, look down here. It looks like a face on that.
It is. It actually looks like a Zelda Goron, I think.
See?
A lot of Zelda references here because obviously it's a Zelda type action RPG.
Ooh, this floor.
These
oh,
guys.
this floor. Okay.
They're all
arrows. Arrows. This is where arrows would be, except for that guy. He hits hard. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
And the acid floor also eats up the items.
Yeah, it does.
Disintegrates the rewards, I should say.
Yeah.
Good, he didn't drop.
The acid only hits you for a few ticks. I'm not even going to try for that because they're going to be gone.
It's not worth it. Well, the money you rise.
Okay.
And we read these books because even though we get repeats, there is the achievement for reading all of the books.
Too much loot. He's talking about how great there's a hidden room that can sometimes let you send home treasure on the 3rd floor. Which is great, but we haven't actually found it yet. So maybe this time's the time.
Maybe.
Maybe.
See, this would have been a room I should have looked at. I was busy looking at that other thing.
Okay. Going back over here, and then we're going to head up. Go through the...
The enchanting room.
We've been to this one yet?
Did you read
this
this?
level?
I don't know. I don't think we have.
The text in this one is just lore.
Who are these people?
About the nice people in another dimension who complain about us showing up and trashing their stuff, I think.
It's kind of, it's super cute.
Yeah. I confess I don't have 100% grip on the story, but it's fun.
And those wells only heal you for as much as, like, one full life, so...
Yeah. You can't just, like, keep going back to it forever.
Right. If you have 100 life and you've used 41 time, it's only going to have 60 left in it for next time. I'm saying maybe telly time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's see. This is the bad one. So we can put him here, and then we'll teleport him. Wait, this is a Dispel Curse. Where's that? We don't have a teleport home one. Shoot. This will get rid of it, and then that should, at least more of it will stack.
Do you have any more oh, there you go.
Slot.
Because you have 2 identicals that you could, if you could dispel the curse, you could stack.
I don't have anything left to dispel curses, yeah.
What
Oh, this'll stack.
What are the ones you have left?
What do you mean? Which ones do I have left? The ones in here?
What are those?
This is breakable, and this is a transmute.
It?
No, transmutes it to that item.
Oh. If you had something good.
That's a better way to do that.
There you go.
Actually. Anyway. Let's toss.
Well, but you can also come back. I think you should come back.
I'm not taking another trip to town.
Why not?
Because I'm dragging out.
Also, you have no money.
Well, then I should do that and get myself some cash. There. And this I can toss in. And this.
Oh, you have enough to... Oh, but you don't want to single out.
Oh, we're gonna get slammed in the boss room, too. We didn't see any, secret rooms that could get us out of here, did you? Nothing sparkled?
Sorry.
Okay. Let's do this room. Maybe the secret's here.
Fingers crossed.
It's not here. In the second dungeon, nearly everything poisons you. The poison's sort of the thing with this dungeon. So all the monsters poison you.
This one's a plant area.
Yeah.
The other one was, golems. So wrong.
Yeah. Little slimes are trying to get to me, but I'm out of inventory space, so... Okay, maybe this is the secret room. There's no pits. It's not the secret room.
This is why we're signing this one. Sorry. Oh, what you do have is a chest.
These are good. Oof. Okay, good. It's done stuff home. So let's grab this and send home a stack of that. And then that stacks. So now I have 2 slots free.
Yay!
And then this decurses these guys. There. So now these will stack.
You have one more down there if you've got another decursor.
I don't have any more decursors. I've got a mystery item and then busted stuff.
Ooh, and 8 of those things. What are those things?
Acid slimes.
Oh.
Which I don't even know how much they sell for. I don't want to use them necessarily, but I will auto sell these. You know, I'm gonna auto sell my enchantment crystals because
Yeah,
I've
got
like
plenty of those. So.
50 of them at this point.
And you can sell that if you want.
I'm going to because it's breakable, and if I go into a boss fight, it's likely I'm gonna get hit.
Right. Okay. Phew.
Let's just because.
Landscaper. No.
Jerks. Okay. Finding lots of chests. Oh, good. Thank goodness.
Oh, good.
Teleport stuff home. Okay.
Send the mystery item home?
I can send the mystery item home because mystery items won't stack unless I decurse it. There we go. So 1 extra slot. Another one I can send home. I'm going to send home, I guess, more mystery items, or...
Probably not a bad idea.
Actually, I'm going to send home one of these partial stacks of stuff. In case something goes south and I get killed in the boss fight, at least I've locked in some good junk. Loot. And cores are good. They're from the next area. Okay. Going to sell this. Oh my god.
The guy down there at the bottom.
This one?
Yeah.
Sell him.
Because you've got 3 over there already. There you go. Okay. Okay, inventory management, obviously. We tried to see if we could upgrade our backpack, but apparently that's not a thing.
I probably should have bought more potions. Like, saved it and gone back to town and then come back.
You don't have enough money to go back to town.
Oh, yeah,
So this is the boss fight, right?
If I get killed, we lose a lot of stuff.
Those nose!
Okay, I'm gonna
It's
run around a little bit and get a feel for this guy
mutate.
first. So just dashing in and trying to whack on him.
I'll see how...
Got a lot of tentacles.
Bows are good for stuff like that. That's stunning. Ah! Those guys.
Whoa.
Oh my. Oh no!
Jeez, every time I hold still, he like whacks me.
I thought they were my versus zombies. Nice. Nice. Woohoo!
On the upside, my sword
Watch out for the hit.
Does a large amount of damage. Whoa.
Those guys seem to respawn, and they're at 100 life. Less than 100 life. 60. R2.
My god. Wow, that was close.
Oh my god, you only have 24 life. Could you maybe do a potion?
Woo!
Oh my gosh.
And now we have to throw out all of our gear to pick up this sweet boss loot. Okay, fine. Normally we'd take more trips back to town to sell the stuff, but...
Well, there's a chest, too.
No.
What is that? It's not a chest?
That's all loot. Oh, this is... Yeah, but it's going to tell you...
Could you please hit a R2?
R2?
Oh, you don't have any?
I don't have any potions. If I had potions, I wouldn't have gotten that loot.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Jeez. What do you think, I just like running around with 30 life?
Yes, that's why I was like, why won't he take that potion? Now I know.
You are a weirdo.
What? You didn't say anything. I know you were fighting, but... Okay, what's in this box?
What's in the box? It's not a head.
Phew. Oh my
Whoa,
goodness.
all sorts of stuff that I can't... Okay.
You need
So now,
to sort this
I throw this
out.
over, and that's all the stuff that I can just pick up naturally. I think I just sold a log.
You should sell that thing.
Yeah.
Maybe those roots. The things that are starred in his inventory are items that we are saving for.
They're on a wish list.
They're on to make gear. To craft gear. So, try it again.
Try what again?
Oh, pulling stuff over.
So
right,
missing
got
2
a
things.
Book and a log.
Let's see, what can get sold? What do we only have one of? This guy.
Anything that'll break when you get back to town.
Yeah. None of those yet, thankfully. But there we go, and that's all the stuff.
Except for that one thing with petals on the floor, but I think you can live without that.
I can live without that. Okay.
Phew! And there you go. That was the boss of level 2.
Oh, also worth mentioning, save points. It doesn't save all the time. Like the game, it only saves when you either go to sleep.
Right there.
When you bottom corner, you say it's saving. When you leave a dungeon. Oh, cool cutscene where it does our second lock. Or when you finish a day of selling, it'll save then. Otherwise, it doesn't save. So don't assume that like just because you like went back to your room after you bought a bunch of stuff from town, it saved.
Poke dude.
Yeah, Master Roshi.
Or what is that? The guy who floats on the cloud. It's from
It's Master Roshi. From Dragon Ball.
It is.
DBZ.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was. I said Pokey, but I meant Dragon.
It's much more wholesome than him, but you get the idea.
Yes. This guy's less burpy. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. He also tries to guilt trip us for being so awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, will you stop murdering all these bosses? You're supposed to be a dumb merchant. Go be a dumb merchant.
Not a dumb merchant, though. I don't think he says dumb. But
doesn't actually say dumb.
He wants you to know your place and just stay in the shoppy.
Yes. And we're like, no, we're going to upgrade our loot and go wreck some dungeons.
Plus, we have to have stuff to sell.
New expansions to the downboard. He's telling me all the great stuff we have to look forward to.
See, there's an exclamation mark down there, because why? You can open the banker now, I bet.
Yes, we can.
Which you probably can only do during the day.
And I'm sure it costs money. Actually, you can open it whenever, but yeah,
Can you? Well,
the other ones we did. It won't necessarily be available.
Open.
Yeah. But there you go. Moonlighter, there you have it.
Oh, yeah. I would like... we're going to keep going, because I need to play more.
Yes, unfortunately, you are going to have to buy the game and play it if you want to see some more.
Or tell us, do another recording. No, don't do that. Hours in a day.
We could do it. Anyway.
We could. Yeah. If it was requested.
But there you have it.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.